on this official visit. Jane, so I mean, I can think of a number of issues just off the top of my head that will be discussed at this meeting between Cyril Ramaphosa, the President, and the UK Prime Minister. Trade relations, of course, at the top of the agenda, land reform, and of course, related to that, I'll be interested to hear what she makes of US President Donald Trump's recent tweets.
Yes, and hopefully I'll be able to ask her that question a little bit later on when I have a sit down with her. We heard Cyril Ramaphosa talking about that on Saturday. He was, I think it's fair to say, pretty angry, as have many political players and South Africans at that sort of tweet. So she's going to be wanting to hear a clear message from him. He's going to be wanting to get a clear message from her about what happens after what's looking like a no-deal Brexit. Let's bring in Lester. We were listening to your report a little bit further on, but I'm going to talk about other issues surrounding that. The rather conflicting messages from Cyril Ramaphosa when it comes to land. What's he going to say to her today?
Well, I think a lot of the criticism of the president is that he's been somewhat having that mixed message in Parliament. He tries to bring along the opposition, particularly the Freedom Front Plus, trying to allay fears that any land reform program would be done legally and in line with the Constitution. But then he goes and, as president of the ANC, has a 10 p.m. address to the nation, indicating that the ANC is intent on amending the Constitution. I think particularly after the cabinet spokesperson Mvula Mokonyane last week saying that there has probably been a lack of a direct message, particularly to foreign governments. I think the president would want to have a direct and frank conversation with Theresa May, just exactly what the plans are for a land reform program, particularly after last week's tweet by Donald Trump. And if you can remember the SABC reporting at the weekend, him giving a stern response to President Trump, saying that he should stick his nose out of South African business. I don't think he'll be as frank with Theresa May. There's obviously a very friendly meeting that they're having, but I think he is going to put his plan across, wanting to give Theresa May that assurance of stability, especially such as coming with a 29-member business delegation to discuss direct foreign investment in South Africa.
Okay, stability is what he needs. Stability is the message he's got to get across. Today we have press conferences, important ones, by the DA and the EFF. What sort of message do you think they are giving him by having it today?
Well, I think that would be an issue that foreign governments would be looking at, the stability of South Africa ahead of next year's general election and what happens after that. As we go closer to coalition governments, just how politically stable is South Africa and what that means for business confidence. I think that it's no mistake that the DA and the EFF are holding press conferences today, probably to stir away some attention from Theresa May's working visit to South Africa. But I'm sure from what the president has said in Parliament that South Africa is a stable democracy, a stable and strong constitutional democracy. And last week's cabinet statement also reaffirming that the fundamentals of the South African economy are strong, saying that we have a strong and independent reserve bank, that our legislation when it comes to finance and the economy and banking controls are firm and they are solid. And that is the message that the president will be giving Theresa May this afternoon.
And he's really notching up trade with different countries, isn't it? I mean, after this, he'll be heading over to China. What is his game plan?
Well, his game plan is to get that $100 billion foreign investment. He's been everywhere from Saudi Arabia to the UAE. This Thursday he leaves for an official state visit to China, really wanting to stress that South Africa is open for business, really wanting to hit that target of $100 billion, establishing that international foreign investment envoy led by former Finance Minister Trevor Manuel. But at the same time, it's that mixed messaging of land reform. Trevor Manuel himself saying that it's very difficult to sell that message to particularly foreign governments, wanting that assurance of stability, that there will not be any land grabs, and that whatever process South Africa decides to follow in a land reform program, that it is done constitutionally and legally.
And it's raining here. Obviously, they're going to be wanting to be raining money between both countries. Let's go over to Devon now, who has more about the economic impact of this trip.